Okay, so the two types of functions that we're going to focus on in chapter 11 are exponential functions and logarithmic functions. And we're going to learn they're actually inverses of each other. And so we're going to focus today on exponential functions. So exponential functions can be written in the form of y is equal to b to the x as long as b is positive. And the reason for that is if b was negative, then a negative to the first power would be below the x-axis, to the second power would be above, and to the third power is below, and they wouldn't be connected. So we would call that a discontinuous function. And we want to talk about the exponential function as a continuous function. So as long as my base is positive, then my base to any power, as it's getting bigger or smaller, they're going to stay connected and it's going to be a nice little function. So what that makes this different is x is not my base, x is my exponent. And so it's the exponent that's raising where the base is staying the same, okay? So as I was saying, if b was less than 0, the graph would flip-flop across the x-axis and would not be continuous. And then also, if b was equal to 0, it would just be the horizontal line, y equals 0, and that's really boring. So for what we're going to deal with today, we're going to focus on a base of 2. And we're going to see that y equal to 2x is the parent graph for quite a few graphs, and that it's treated exactly the same way as all of the functions in chapter 3, the parabolas, the cubes, the square root functions, the sines and cosines, they all have that same idea of families of graphs, all right? So when we take a look, for this moment, we're going to go ahead and do an XY chart just so that you can see what's happening. So if I start with 0, remember any number to the 0 power is just 1. If I have a power of 1, 2 to the first is 2. Power of 2, 2 to the second is 4. A power of 3, 2 to the third is 8. So I want you to notice 0 is at 1, 1 is at 2, 2 is at 4, and 3 is at 8. So we've got an idea of what's happening to the right of the y-axis, sorry. Now we want to see what's happening to the left of the y-axis. So if it's to the -1 power, remember that said take the elevator to the bottom floor? And so that's going to be at 1/2 or 0.5. And then if I say -2, that means put it in the bottom and square it. So that means it's going to get even closer. So notice then we're going to get like 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. So it's never actually going to reach 0, and it's never going to be negative. So it's always going to be above the x-axis. So what we think of this negative x-axis is like a horizontal asymptote. So at y equals 0, we have an asymptote leading in the negative direction. All right, so when we take a look at the next graph, where 1/2 is my base instead of 2, let's do an XY chart. So if I start with 0, again, any number to the 0 power is 1. Then if I do the first power, 1/2 to the first is 1/2 or 0.5. And 1/2 to the second power is 1/4, right? So I can see what's happening to the right. Now I want to see what's happening to the left. So if I say the -1 power, remember that takes the reciprocal. So that means 2 over 1 or just 2. And if I say -2, that means take the reciprocal and square it. So that's going to be 4. And -3 says take the reciprocal and cube it. And so that's going to give me 8. And so you'll notice this graph is going to have an asymptote because my value is never going to be negative. But instead of the asymptote going in the negative direction, this asymptote is the ray to the right, but it's still y equals 0. So then what I want you to do is compare both of those graphs and tell me, what do you notice about the graphs? So hopefully you can see they both intersect the y-axis at 1. So they both have a y-intercept of 1. And then I hope you see that the activity we see to the right of the y-axis in this graph is the same activity you see to the left on the graph with the base of 1/2. And the activity that's to the left on this graph is the same activity that you see on the right of the new graph. And so what that means is that 1/2 x, or I should say 1/2 to the x power, is the reflection, or we should say is y is equal to 2 to the x reflected with respect to the y-axis. Because if I go to simplify this, do you see that this is 2 to the negative 1 power, all to the x? And we said when we have a power of a power, we multiply. So this is 2 to the negative x power. So notice that negative is in the exponent, meaning that it's in the function or in the parentheses. And when it's in the parentheses, it's a horizontal change. And so my horizontal reflection is across the y-axis. So you'll notice when I do that, we end up with exactly the same base, but I take the opposite of the exponent. And so this is still the parent graph, and this one just reflects that parent graph across the y-axis. So then we like to talk about patterns. So notice I have patterns for b larger than 1, so that would be like the parent graph we did, and then b between 0 and 1, because remember, we're not talking about bases that are equal to 0 or bases that are negative. So we're only talking about bases that are greater than 0. And so if it happens to be a fraction smaller than 1, these are the ideas here. So the domain is all real numbers for both. There aren't any asymptotes or any holes in our graph. And then for both of them, the range is all real numbers greater than 0, because remember we said we had that horizontal asymptote at y is equal to 0. For the parent graph, as we looked at the graph from left to right, it was increasing. And for the second graph, as we looked from left to right, it was decreasing. So when the base is greater than 1, it's increasing to the right. And when it's less than 1, it's decreasing to the right. And so then when the base is greater than 1, we said the horizontal asymptote was more about the negative x-axis. And when it was smaller than 1, then the horizontal asymptote was more focused on the positive x-axis. And there are no vertical asymptotes because the domain was all real numbers. Okay. We don't really talk about when b is equal to 1 because, again, 1 to the first is 1, 1 to the second is 1, 1 to the third is 1, and that's just boring. It's just the horizontal line y equal 1. So in the real world, the graph of y is equal to 2 to the x could represent the amount of growth for organisms over time using mitosis. So that's where they split off into 2, and then each of those split off into 2, and each of those split off into 2. And so that's where that function would come from. The graph of y is equal to 1/2 to the x power, that would represent decay or the dying off of organisms over time, which is exponential decay. So if we take a look at these three graphs, the first graph is the blue graph, and that's the graph of y is equal to 4 to the x power. So you'll notice 4 to the 0 is 1, 4 to the first is 4. If I go to the other side, 4 to the negative 1 is 1/4. So that's how we're getting that graph. And that is the parent graph for the other two graphs. And you'll see that this plus 2 is outside of that exponent. And so that means that it's a vertical change. And you'll notice the red graph is the blue graph, just translated vertically by a, not scale factor. Let me try that again. Translated vertically 2 units up, right? And then the second graph has this -3 outside of the exponent. And so that's also a vertical change. And so the green graph is the blue graph translated down 3 steps. Similarly here, we've got our parent graph is the 1/5 to the x power. And so that is this blue graph right here. So again, any number to the 0 power is 1. And to the first power would give me 1/5. And to the negative 1 power would give me 5. And so this 6 in the front says stretch that by a scale factor of 6. So you'll notice 1/5 times 6 gives me a little more than 1, so 1 and 1/5. And then 1 times 6, this y value of 1 times 6 would give me 6, and so on and so forth. So that's a vertical expansion by a scale factor of 6. And then this graph over here has a reflection with respect to the x-axis. So that's why the green values are below the x-axis. And then it also has a vertical expansion by a scale factor of 2. So for example, instead of going up 1, we go down 2. Instead of going up 1/5, we go down 2/5. All right, so then we want to be able to describe the graph based upon the parent graph. So if we look at this first one, we've got +1 outside of the exponent, so that's a vertical change. So that means we would translate up 1 unit. This one has -3 on it, and so again, it's outside of the exponent, and so that means it's a vertical change, so that would be translated down 3 units. The next one, this -1 is inside the parentheses, and so that means there's work to be done. So if I set x minus 1 equal to 0, we would get +1, which means we would translate to the right 1 unit. And for the next one, if we set x plus 7 equal to 0, we would get x is -7. So that means that we would translate to the left 7 units. More things about the graphs and their translations, a negative in front. So it's not inside the parentheses is what I want you to notice. It's in front. That means that we're going to do a vertical reflection. So that's going to be with respect to the x-axis. And if I have y equal to 1 over b, which is the same as b to the -1 power, that's now putting the negative into the exponent. So that's a horizontal change. And so that means that we're reflecting with respect to the y-axis. So if I put it all together, pause the video and see if you can figure out all the changes happening to this graph. So hopefully you see this negative in front of b is saying reflect it vertically across the x-axis. Then in my exponent, if I set this equal to 0, x is +5, so I'm translating to the right 5 units. And then this -4 is a vertical change, and so I would translate down 4 units. So reflected with respect to the x-axis, translated to the right 5 units, and down 4 units.